Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and it's time for another overlooked but awesome card. And this one, I believe I had mentioned just very briefly in a video a long time ago as being one of my all-time favorites, and I was super pissed that this card is super overlooked. I mean, overlooked to the point where you've probably never heard of it, except that it was a rare and a really popular set. Now, it does have 3 colored mana in the cost, which is a little bit limiting. They're all the same color, but it's a 5-cost sorcery that says, win the game. Seriously, don't even read the text on the card. It just says, win the game. This card is so good, I want to build a modern deck around just it and nothing else, because it will instantly by itself win the game. It kind of helps a little bit, though, that nobody plays counterspells in Modern except for Cryptic Command, which costs a little bit too much to be reliable. Also, people usually run 4 of, and that's it. That's around a 45% chance of pulling in a standard 8-turn game. Oh, and this'll win on turn 5, because honestly, I would just put 30 lands in the deck. This is get to 5 and win, so hopefully with all the clues, you guys have perhaps figured it out. That's right, it's Burn at the Stake. So first of all, this is just begging to be reprinted as like a joke card in Unhinged where they replace it with steak as in S-T-E-A-K and then have some kind of funny cooking reference. It's Thopter Pie Network 2.0. Other than that, as an additional cost to cast Burn at the Stake, tap any number of untapped creatures you control. Burn at the Stake deals damage to the target creature or player equal to 3 times the number of creatures tapped this way. So their size, their power, their mana cost doesn't matter, just 3 damage per. Now you might have caught that it says creature or player. Now, doesn't this seem like it would be only creature? And honestly, if it was, it would probably be a 3-cost sorcery. But it's the player, and this can get out of control really quickly, because if you have a 1/1 token on the field, it could swing for 1 damage if it got through. That's 1 damage for a 1/1 that maybe costs 1 to get out, we'll say. You know, secure the waste, whatever. 1.1 to get out. 1.2, just some roll low. You just got a mountain of tokens. They only do so much damage. Well, with this card, they do 3 damage. And it's unblockable, and it's not preventable. I mean, it is, like, the spell can be countered. It's preventable, and the damage can quite literally be prevented. But other than that, in a normal game, under normal circumstances, you would play this and just win instantly. All you need are 7 creatures. So 7 creatures remaining on the battlefield and 5 mana. So like I said, I can already plan this in my head. This is the simplest dang thing I've ever seen. There is a little bit of mana ramp in red, and you do need triple red with 2 generics, so you could mix green for guaranteed mana dorks and then tap them to deal the damage. I think that would probably be the best. I don't think Scions would do it, because once you've paid for the spell, they are no longer there on the battlefield, but Goblins would do it. I mean, modern Goblins is kind of a thing. In reality, I would probably go red-blue mix, because blue has Contingency Plan, which is the most powerful 2-cost scry I've ever seen. Now, I didn't research this that well, but, I'm pretty sure that's the best I've ever seen in a modern deck for going to get one specific card that you need for the lowest amount of mana consistently. There are recurring scries like Sigiled Starfish that cost 2, but doing it all at once almost guarantees that you can put Burn at the Stake on the top of your library, or if you're at 3 mana, 2 lands, then Burn at the Stake, perhaps, or like another mana dork, or the creatures that you need to cast Burn at the Stake. So Contingency Plan would be pretty funny, especially with like Fork or Reverberate. Don't remember Fork's actually legal in Modern, but you get my drift. Blue doesn't have a problem dropping out all kinds of different creatures either, so I think this would be very doable. Now, if you wanted to go crazy, we're talking like Chandra level Pyromancer, you could go the other way with it. Christmas colors all day. Let's go red-green. Cryptolith, right, to tap all of your tokens that you're generating slowly. Goblins, elementals, whatever, doesn't matter, honestly. Whatever's the easiest to bring out. Could even be Scions, doesn't even matter. And then just use the best draw you can possibly come up with, the best scry, whatever, go fetch, look at the top 3, pick 1. There's a little bit of that. There's actually a spell printed recently where you can flip up a huge number of cards off the top, then you have till the end of next turn to cast them. That's a doable option. And then if you don't find Burn at the Stake, you could also run Banefire and just win based on Cryptolith right damage. I mean, just feed 15 mana into it and just nuke the living balls off of somebody. Banefire is completely insane. That card is seriously not right. And what the hell, let's put in Rolling Thunder and Burn from Within to destroy indestructible creatures. Big ol' X-Spell dumps out tokens. You can chump block if you absolutely had to, but make sure that the tokens keep on coming. Just whatever the most efficient token generation is in all of Modern. I'm sure that wouldn't be that hard to figure out. Cryptolith Right to feed the other spells, and then burn up the stake for the win. That honestly seems like it would be a pretty darn good deck. Probably a little bit worse, a little bit slower than Storm though. At least it would have a board presence of creatures, though. So those are just completely off the top of my head, 2 near perfect decks with Burn at the Stake in them. The options are just limitless. Like I said, get 7 of anything out, anything at all, generate 5 mana, win the game. Honestly, with the way that people toss around fetch lands and shock lands, you could probably win with 6, maybe even 5. Especially if you got in an extra swing by dropping out a 1/1 token on turn 1 or a mana dork. If you get them down to 15 or they put themselves at 15, they're just dead 1 turn sooner. Oh, this is such a punishing card. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, and nobody plays life gain in Modern. They just wouldn't be able to life gain their way out of this. You would have too many tokens. So as you can see, this is insane. This card is absolutely insane. But guess what my favorite part is? And you already noticed there's no flavor text. The artist who drew the artwork's last name is Boros. It's a sign. Maybe I was wrong this whole video. You're supposed to run Boros colors, which is red-white in case you're not familiar and don't use the term candy cane like I do. Seriously, who the hell doesn't say candy cane instead of Boros? Like, what's wrong with people? So this card is absolutely insane. I would put it in Commander in a second. I love it. I don't love the triple red, but it keeps it reasonable. It keeps you from doing a mostly green ramp, little tiny splash red, oh look, I won the game type of deck. So very appropriate card design. It's not overpowered, but a spell for 5 that wins the game? I mean, I can't even name a spell for 9 that does that. Then again, I haven't been playing that long. I mean, you think Rise of the Dark Realms is going to do it for you? No, not necessarily. It might win the game, but this instantly wins the game upon resolution. So what do you think of this card? Is it as good as I think? Could you find even more awesome combos with it? Do you know of a way to drop out 5, 6, 7 creatures really quickly in Modern to win on like turn 5 and also reliably fetch this card? If so, leave it down in the comments section. I'd love to hear about it, and I'll see you guys next video.